Look what I got today. Damn it, autofocus. It's magnificent. It's mine. Okay. Well, enough about that. So, one of the biggest things I want to talk about was like the whole Captain Marvel controversy that's happening, and why it's not a good thing. Because I was excited for Captain Marvel. I'm still excited for Captain Marvel, but the whole political controversy when it comes to like Star Wars movies, Marvel movies, I just have to ignore it now because everyone just makes a whole fuss about it, and it's a huge problem. Honestly, Disney needs to have a contract with their employees to just not be allowed to talk. Like, you can't talk about the movie. You can't talk about spoilers, obviously. You shouldn't be able to talk about politics. This is a freaking movie. Like, politics should not be involved at all. About this, her whole comment about how she wants less white people or like white men to go on tour with her, or whatever the hell she said. But it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't be about race. It shouldn't be about gender. It shouldn't be about anything. It should just be about this movie. Like, it should. Everyone likes Marvel, right? Just rejoice and watch these movies. Like, why does it have to be political? Like, none of this should. Even Black Panther shouldn't have had to be political. Like, we've had plenty over the years. Since like the last 40 years, we've had strong female roles, strong black roles, strong anything roles to that matter. Obviously, we have a lot of white roles. Sure, whatever. But that still doesn't like cancel out anything else that's happened. You know, you got Ripley from Aliens. You got freaking Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. You got there's a ton. I just can't name all of them off the top of my head. But there is a lot of lead female roles. I mean, people are saying this is the first female lead Marvel role, even though Elektra is a thing. And all this other nonsense. But aside from the politics, Disney needs to contract their employees, their actors, their directors, everything, and just talk about the movie, and that's it. None of these stupid political statements, none of these Twitter posts, none of this dumb stuff. Like, none of this should be a thing. Why is it a thing? I was excited for this movie, and now I'm hearing about all these people complaining about, oh, she said this, he said this. Why is this a thing? This is an SJW movie. Like, no, it's a Captain Marvel movie. It's about Captain Marvel. It's a Marvel movie. It's supposed to lead into Endgame and then lead into other stuff. You know, like that's how it works. That's how it's been working. Now, The Last Jedi was very upfront about their preachiness, and I won't deny that. And if it gets a little too preachy, you know, me as an audience member is kind of like, hey, I already know my right from wrong. Why are you like preaching this to me? Like, I'm not an idiot, you know. And that's why a lot of people will get riled up about, you know, about the preachiness of it. Typically, if it's really subtle and unnoticeable, like, you don't really care. But if it's like upfront in your face about, hey, animal cruelty, hey, women's rights, hey, all this other stuff that, you know, is something we're trying to escape with this fantasy, but it's getting thrown in our face anyways, you know. But even if Captain Marvel has that joke woman, I mean, even in Thor Ragnarok had that whole, oh, you're a woman in power, you know, whatever. When Thor was making that comment to the Valkyrie in Thor Ragnarok, which was like a small subtle thing, and it was funny, it was cool, whatever, you know. And then in this one, it's like, why does she have to make the statement? You know, why does anybody, like, even when the fans complain, and the fans are just as bad. Like, the fans are actually the worst when it comes to this kind of stuff about constantly complaining. Like, The Last Jedi was 2 years ago now, about a year and a half ago, and people are still talking about it today, about the same crap over and over again. I'm sick of hearing about it. Who cares at this point? Like, move on with your life. Talk about something else. Like, I don't need to hear your cynicism all the damn time. I'm trying to enjoy Star Wars. I'm trying to enjoy Marvel. You know, and obviously I do want some change myself, because Disney's making some creative decisions that I'm disagreeing with. Sure, why not? But it's literally like, it's just a movie. Like, I understand it. Like, I love Star Wars. You know, I got posters and costumes and all that stuff, good stuff. But like, you know, that thing. But you know, it's the fact that like everyone's a glass half empty kind of person now, and everyone's just complaining about everything now. Like, it's literally for the, because I'm very engaged with the fandom. I go to conventions. I'm in the 501st. I've done fan films. You know, like, I've done the Vader fan film. I've done the Clone Trooper fan film. I've heard so many people. I run the Star Wars Theory Discord, and I do all this stuff. And this is all that people are talking about constantly, is just, this person did this person did that, politics. That's it. Like, you know, the elections weren't bad enough. It has to be in our pop culture now, to the point where everyone's divided no matter where you are. and it kind of gets really annoying. It's really frustrating. I'm hoping things get better. I know things will get better as long as we get good content with the Mandalorian, the Clone Wars, the next episode 9, and the HBO guys, the Game of Thrones guys are making a trilogy, and all this positive stuff's happening. And the funny thing, I don't know why I'm talking about Star Wars now, but the funny thing is, you have 2 movies that Disney did wrong. That's it. All the comics are cool, the novels are good, the shows are fine, and yet, I mean, Rebels, I'm more of a Clone Wars guy, but like having 2 movies, which is basically the A New Hope remake and The Last Jedi, not being a fan favorite, that's only still 2 pieces of content, major pieces of content, sure, but only 2 pieces of content that Disney hasn't done right, and then everything else has been good, and everyone's not seeing that. Like all like comics and video games are poor. I will admit that. I'm so disappointed about the video games, and that's actually the only realm that I kind of didn't want to mess up, but it did. But Marvel's doing really well. Marvel has provided with some premium great movies that I've always enjoyed watching, almost every single one of them. And I'm not gonna let the fandom or the politics ruin Captain Marvel for me, because I have not been paying attention to any interviews. I haven't been paying attention to social media. The more you disconnect yourself with the internet, the more you will enjoy life. And that's just a fact. I've unfollowed so many people that just shit post and post politics all throughout Facebook. Even on YouTube, I don't follow any I follow some political speakers that I do enjoy listening to, but I only research it on my own and maybe discuss it with people in person. I never really post about it. But a lot of people are just paying way too much. The problem is you're paying way too much attention to it and then trying to preach about it. And the thing is, your opinion isn't going to change anything unless you were out there protesting and out there trying to make a difference. You just talking about it on Facebook, you just talking about it on social media, and just becoming this cynical person from just paying attention to politics on the internet is not healthy. It's completely the opposite of healthy. So I don't know why people are doing this, and I admit I do my own research, and I do look up political like things that I want to look up, but like when it comes to like YouTube content, like I keep it very brief. I watch my gaming stuff. I watch some of my political stuff that I want to watch. I watch a lot of movie trailers and various things here and there. But like when it comes to just all these cynical YouTubers that just keep talking about bad stuff over and over and over again, and just feed off of it and just gain subscribers from it, and it just gets really overwhelming and really, really frustrating. Even like on Reddit, it's just nothing but bashing on Battlefront 2. On Twitter, it's just nothing but like somebody saying something dumb and getting fired for it, like James Gunn being fired for saying something stupid 10 years ago and not being put on Guardians of the Galaxy anymore is just the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Even Kevin Hart, not being able to host the Oscars because he said some jokes, even though he's a comedian. And if you get offended by any of that stuff, then you obviously don't know what comedy is at all. And comedy is also, like even racism, sexism, stereotypes also fall into place of comedy. And it makes fun of it, obviously, and obviously there's dark humor, and everyone knows that there's dark humor. But if you get offended by it, then I would suggest you are part of the problem, because comedy is just comedy. That's what it is. It's comedy. Like it's not difficult to know what comedy is. We're obviously selective on that comedy, but it really depends on like what you perceive as fantasy and reality, and what you perceive, as what's a serious matter and what's not a serious matter. Because obviously comedy is not a serious matter. You're supposed to laugh, but if it's serious, obviously we take things seriously. It's kind of like the whole topic of if violent video games make people violent. Now obviously competitiveness makes people violent sometimes, but that goes for everything like sports and sport, basically anything competitive, right? So but basically, what was I getting with that? So violent video games make violent people, but it's not true. Gosh, what was I getting with that? I totally forgot. Well, anyways, so I lost my train of thought. So basically, what I was trying to say is disconnect yourself from like, people that think violent video games make people violent is completely not true, because we obviously have that distinction of fantasy and reality. So like, and if something actually violent happens that's actually real, we take it very seriously. I mean, personal experience. We take it very seriously, you know. And typically those people that do dumb things when it comes to that they've played video games previously doesn't root down to video games from their violent behavior. Obviously they're depressed people and they need help, so on and so forth. Back to my topic, though, on the other hand, was the fact that people need to disconnect themselves from politics. People need to disconnect themselves from anything that involves politics whatsoever on the internet. Like, once again, she said something stupid. It's not going to prevent me from seeing the movie. I think what she said was stupid. But once again, it looks like a good movie. It's a prequel to the Marvel, to the Marvel universe, and I want to keep up with the Marvel universe. So therefore, I'm going to watch the movie. And I'm going to keep watching Star Wars movies. And we're all going to keep watching these movies because we like the genre. And fans act entitled. Sure, whatever. If you want to boycott the movie, because apparently the prediction was like $200 million on the first weekend. Now it's like dropped to like 80 million because everyone's mad about her statement. And, Disney should be pissed about this because, she says something stupid and now they're going to lose millions of dollars. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you even say that? Talk about your movie. Why are you making this a political, thing? And anyways, that kind of made me riled up when I heard about it. I'm not trying to talk about like politics all the time on my channel. I don't think I have. I think I have like maybe 3 or 4 videos on that. But that's kind of what I wanted to say about this kind of stuff. If you guys like what I had to say, like and subscribe. If you didn't, well then don't like and subscribe, And thanks for watching.